Hello, Professor Bright here. Welcome back to House of Many Doors, where last episode, we technically freed the dancing god, sort of, after a fashion. In fact, he died, but there's a freedom in that, I suppose, sort of, at least according to him. Well, I say according to him, according to the new Imperator, who used the whole, disaster we created to just set off a coup. Which is disappointing, to say the least. It's one of those cases of it makes sense in the story, but, you know, a little bit of light in the darkness, please. Just a wee bit. Oh well. I suppose it's fine. A lot of betrayals, though. It's occurred to me just now that we have had a lot of betrayals in this game. Is that like a major theme? I wonder. Well, regardless, plan for today... Well, current plan for today is to go to New Drayden, but... Well... Let's start with this. We dream of trees, deliver the trickster's aspect to Persephone. Which is a one-way, trip. We can't go and dream of clocks again if we do this. So perhaps we should dream of clocks, although that does cost apprehensions, so perhaps not. But on the other hand, why not? Onward. You urge your Kinetopede forward, your heartlight beating back the darkness. One of the legs stops, sunk into a deep trench. When you clamber out to have a look, the floor is curiously soft beneath your feet. You look up. A clock fills the sky like an overbearing sun. You're stranded on More Bazaar's hand once again. The miles-long trench is a palm line. You've looked, you've learned, says More Bazaar in his and her quiet androgynous voice. I slip back into your mind through one of the bleeding cracks. Are you ready to help me destroy the house? Why do you want to destroy it? The house has become a vast, hungry parasite, says More Bazaar. It predates. Curious use of the word. On a million other worlds, it snatches things and people from their proper places and drops them in the dark. It was never meant to be this way. He and she pauses for a moment, tick, tick, tick. And that's not the end of it. The house does worse to other worlds than merely steal from them, but that is an ancient crime and one of which I am forbidden to speak. The house's depredations will never end, not unless we end it together. Oh. Curious. Why should I help you? In truth, I do not much mind whether you help me or not, says More Bazaar mildly. I've had this conversation with you many times before. I will have it many times again. In the grand scheme of things, your answer in this particular instance is utterly inconsequential, but it might affect you rather a lot. Curious. People will die. In my experience, dying is something everyone gets around to sooner or later, says More Bazaar. A little sooner won't make much difference in the grand scheme of things. By killing the paltry millions who reside in the house, we will save countless more outside it. You're not selling me on this. No, I will not help you. Ah well, says More Bazaar. If you change your mind, you will dream of me again. If not, this will be the last time we speak. From your perspective. The clock-faced god is surrounded by a whirl of images. A golden tree, 8 somber faces, something red being licked from gleaming white teeth. Run after Persephone and play the savior if you must. One day I will encounter a you who is bored of that game. Until then, goodbye. A fingertip descends and squashes you into paste. You wake up drenched in sweat. Curious. I feel that was directed at me, the player, not me, the character. I wonder. But no. I made my decision and I'm going to stick with it. Dream of trees, deliver the trickster's aspect to Persephone. You dream that you are in the orchard. No, not the orchard, wrong. You dream that you are in the house. Wake up. Oh. Just a book I've been reading. Men must endure. They're going hence even as they're coming hither. Ripeness is all. Ripeness is all. I've read all these 100 times. This is curious. What? What? And I repeat, what? Mother, is it true that all of us will die? Mother, not I, my child. What about me? Yes, one day you will die. I will carry your soul away myself. Blue fire, it's cold. Is this the first mortal, then? Interesting. I mean, I think it must be. Row after row of hourglasses. She says never to touch them, while the scythe the air around it is cold. The jagged sands, is that this room, but destroyed? Curious. And that's clearly death. A very shiny tree. Mother says not to eat the fruit. But I suspect someone did eat the fruit. Is that what I'm, like... I wonder if children in other worlds will get blamed for these disappearing. Okay, so this is the house, but the house is much smaller than it is. Portraits of Mother's previous children. She adopted me after the last one died. Curious. Mother doesn't really understand what a ball pit is. She made it a mile deep. Aw, that's... Oh, Hourglass, you're the only one who understands me. Aw. It's kinda cute. I said I was bored, so Mother summoned some board games. I play them on my own. Oh, that's depressing. I'm not allowed down to the cellar, which appears to be a locked door. Okay. I don't understand what exactly is happening. Well, I do understand what seems to be happening. This seems to be the aspect of the trickster. And this is the house, clearly. But what am I supposed to do with this? I am confused by this sudden change in the game. I don't... Mother says not to eat the fruit. Curious. Mother also said that... Morbazar said this is not how things are supposed to be. So are we seeing how things were supposed to be? I wonder... Although this can't be the first mortal, then. Mother, can you summon a puppy for me to play with? First, bring my scythe from the hourglass room, child. I must go collecting. You gingerly pick up the scythe. Gained a scythe. Thank you, child. I will be back soon. What about my puppy? When I return. Mother left the cellar key behind. I should hold on to it until she gets back. I mean, we could hold on to it, but I mean, come on now. See, this is a bad example for children. If your parents leave their keys around and say you shouldn't go places, don't go in those places. But this is a game, so we're allowed to. Well, didn't get to read that. I was gonna talk about how everything went all Game Maker. I'm a little bit weirded out by that still. Or RPG Maker, rather. Curious. Oh, that's delightful. How odd, I didn't know there was anything down here. I'm the architect Hart. You can talk. Are you the one who summons things for Mother? Who adds rooms to the house? I currently serve that purpose. Are you very wise, O Hart? Wiser than you. Mother tells me I'll die one day, is she right? She doesn't have to be. I could prevent your mother from returning if there were no mortals here. Wherever mortals exist, she can find them without exception. But I'm mortal, so there's no hope. There's always hope. Go to the orchard, bring me a fruit. But Mother said never to go. Ah. So this is one of those sins that Morbazar had spoken of. And unless I'm much... Oh. Well, let's see what happens. But unless I'm much mistaken, I think we're about to see... Well, maybe this isn't how the first mortal became... Well. You pull a shining fruit from the tree. It's warm. Yeah, I got a feeling this is a very terrible, terrible thing we're about to do. But let's do it. Just, on the off chance that things work out. This architect Hart, what... What's it going to do? Because currently I'm thinking this is the trickster, the first mortal. And I think he's about to cause the house to become, well, what the house is now. That's my suspicion, anyway. I have the fruit. What now? Eat it. It will make you immortal. It tastes wonderful. It is done. Now do you wish to prevent your mother from returning? Oh, yes, otherwise she'll be so angry. And you should add 12 new rooms, a kennel, a swimming pool, a better ball pit, and lots of friends for me to play with. Wait, if there are mortals here, my mother could return. Darn. I could summon immortal playmates instead. All worlds have gods. Yes, please. You've been very kind, Mr. Hart. I hope we are friends. I hope so, too. Do not leave me. You're in the orchard again, beneath the hanging Persephone. I was going to say, that heartbeat needs to stop soon. The trickster sits up in the tree branches, cross-legged. He is not the fragment you found, and nor is he the young boy you saw walking alone through his mother's cold halls. In the dream, at least, he is whole again, a grinning young man with shaggy black hair. And that's the story, says the trickster with a flourish, of the house I stole from death. Oof. Explains the longevity of the Lady of Blades. Who is that? Look up at Persephone. How does she feel about the trickster usurping her dream? Persephone is hanging as limp as the corpse she resembles. I wanted to chat to you alone, says the trickster. And what happened afterwards? Never stake your life on a god managing its ego, says the trickster. I built them a paradise in the house, but they were desperate for worship. They started summoning mortals without my knowledge, and with the first mortal, of course, came death, my mother. I commanded the house to add as many rooms and summon as many people as it could. I needed corners to hide in, and crowds to hide amongst. And then I fled. How could you exile your own mother? Well, she wasn't his mother, I don't think. That raises several questions, actually, about... I'm curious. The trickster frowns. A volcano erupted near my home, and a flow of boiling mud swept our village. We burned before we drowned, but she saved me. Rather than reap my soul, she returned to life and adopted me. By what right? If she can abandon her duty for my sake, why not for billions of other dead kids? Why not for the rest of my village? She could spare us all. The fact that she chooses not to makes her a monster. My real mother drowned in mud. I can't believe you banished death. Although, oh man, I'm not sure I agree with him on this, because here's the thing, I mean, could she though? I feel like I'm not being fed enough information. I feel like death has to reap souls for a reason. You know, and these occasional adopting of children is a small thing compared to saving an entire village, so, yeah, well. Still can't believe you banished death. It was victory over an ancient scourge. From certain perspectives. The trickster preens a little. It was an excellent plan, was it not? I could have lived forever in a paradise of my own creation if I'd only had the good sense to remain alone. Never trust a god, Brian Bright, for they cannot control their pride. So it's the fruits of the orchard that grant immortality. That explains the longevity of the Lady of Blades. Who? Yes, says the trickster, scratching his stubble. It's not without cost, but, he shrugs, I don't regret it. You can escape the house from the orchard, too. Maybe I should have done that instead rather than eating the fruit. But if I'd done that, I would not have escaped my mother's gaze. Why were you adopted by Old Lady Death? Damned if I know, says the trickster. There were other children before me, little lost waifs plucked from the grave. I think it made her feel human, though she has no business being human. Oh. It's kind of like the Terry Pratchett story where Death tries to, you know, become more human. Only in this case, Death is... Well, was Death actually male? I suppose... not sure. My memory of Terry Pratchett is sadly very faded and old. Can you command the house not to rearrange its rooms before I reach the orchard? You know, let me out of here, please? Now tell me, the trickster's smile is still there, but the cheerful expression has died. Someone's pulled the curtains shut behind his eyes. Why ever should I do that? He climbs down the tree, quick as a spider. In an instant, he is at your side. I don't care whether you and your dangling friend escape the house. Why should I help you? I mean, how could I not? Try to trick the trickster. Ooh! Fuck yeah. You tell the trickster that you know where to find his mother. You're sure she misses her son. Maybe you should arrange a reunion. His face turns a gruel-like shade. You wouldn't, he mutters. He peers at you thoughtfully. No, you wouldn't. He paces back and forth, hands clasped behind his back. Damn it, you would. Yes, I would, sir. And I might still. Fine, the trickster shakes his head, disgusted. I'll tell the house to let you through to the orchard without rearranging itself. Not that it matters, you'll still need the orchard key, and you'll never be able to steal it from the factory. I expect we will not meet again. He bows gracefully and is gone. Persephone jolts, clockwork-like, into motion. Curious. I should have known the trickster would get his word in, whether I liked it or not. She smiles ruefully. Never mind, you did it. You convinced him to command the house. Now all we have to worry about is getting a hold of the orchard key. The trickster mentioned the factory. Yes, I'm afraid the governor has been hoarding all manner of keys. She pauses and the fruits blaze in the branches around her. You're going to break into the most secure vault in existence. Well, if that's what I have to do. She just smiles, the light washes her away and sweeps you home. You wake with fingers bleeding, the nails ragged and embedded with splinters. When you look up, you realize you've scratched an intricate map of the factory's interior into your headboard. You're almost there, you've almost escaped. Well! What? How? I mean, I'll take it. Yeah, I'm right next to the City of Keys. How did that happen? Also, clearly eating those fruits makes you immortal. Gods are immortal. Good to know. Although, are gods immortal? Because, well, no, they never were destroyed. They were just taken from one place to another. Oh, no. Don't want to fight the tyrannic. Don't want that to be my last act today. Huh. Okay, well, we've started the job to actually make it out of the house, but there was one thing I wanted to do before we actually, you know, went and did that. Let's just chat with Waif real quick. Oh, and, let me see, key details. Yeah, I got a bunch of reports for you. Just tons of reports. We'll be here all day. Most of the day. A small portion of the day. Oh, good lord. The places I've been. So many places. Okay, almost done. Almost done. There we go. And I've got a ton of money. Great. So, on that note, let's buy ourselves some fuel. And no. I like the name, but no. No. Undreamt treasures. I'm tempted. I don't think it has any other use besides selling it. Not at this point, anyway. I don't need a gallows candle. Grimoires, keeping them just because offhand my memory is, again, not that great. But no, the thing I wanted to do before we go and plan this heist and escape, I did want to go ahead and take Tybalt to train with the Poet Knights, which it occurs to me I think I can do just using that fetch mirror, and I've got so many of them, and I can afford more of them. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and buy some more, for reasons. And, yeah, let me see real quick. Could do. You know what? If I'm going to be going, put up a poster. No response. Well, fine. Travel through the fetch mirror to... No. I mean, this gets me closer, but not where I need to be. Oh well, that's annoying. Nope, don't want to enter the mirror-wise, just want to go south. South and west? Southwest, yes. Although I suppose I could save time by just going to the City of Engines first, but... it's not that long of a trip. Besides, now we can actually talk for a moment, because I feel the need to question a few things that just happened. So, Morbizarre was talking to us as the player. He spoke of the house effectively having... how to describe this? The house is Death's house, but it's not supposed to be this big, and the architect Heart was not supposed to do what it did. It has a will of its own, a will that does not agree with death, interestingly enough. Which makes me curious. And the architect Heart effectively controls the house. It is, in effect, the house. Trying to think, trying to make a coherent thought about this. Alright. So we found Death's house. The trees, well, the apples of the trees make you immortal. They also glow, and there's talk of a cost. Now, is it the standard, you live forever and get to watch everyone you care about die cost? Or is it something else? I'm inclined to think it's something else, given how, I mean, the first mortal, the trickster, seemed to be fine with living. I assume, although, could death kill him then? Because he ate one of the fruits, so he's immortal. So he can't be killed by death, right? Or can death still kill immortals? You know, the ice giant, guy whose name I can't remember, Oddwinter, there we are. He had talked about how immortals are things that can only be killed by their own hand. Curious. And the house has been pulling in things beyond what the trickster asked it to. I think I'm like on the edge of something some revelation, but I'm just not getting there. I don't know why. Well, we're here. Gather news for the obvious reasons. Enter the castle and deliver the good news to Lady Juliet. You rescued Ezekiel from a life of slavery. Lady Juliet meets you in the courtyard. She smiles when you tell her of how you helped Zeke. A quest worthy of a knight. She says, you have my vote, Brian Bright. With Sir Caliphus also backing you, I think it's safe to consider you a poet knight. Accept your knighthood. A knighting ceremony is a grand occasion. The entire keep will turn out to see it. A knighthood is a grand occasion, especially when the initiate is a stranger to most of the keep. A whole horde of knights, squires, servants, and scribes turn out to watch you make the long walk up the courtyard. As you ascend the steps, you are showered in scraps of torn paper, each with a tiny poem inscribed. You kneel before old Sir Caliphus, who lays his blade against your shoulder, once, twice, thrice. Doubly a knight of poesy, he declares, wielder of sword and pen, champion of honor and honesty. We sing because we can and fight because we must. Rise. After that, you adjourn to the pub, where the knights sing in your honor and feed you enough whiskey to drown a cat. We're now a poet knight. A rare honor. And leave, but, well, leave to the north and then come back immediately because, well, I need to train Tybalt. Need him to grow a spine and become a knight, I suppose. Take Tybalt to train with the poet knights. Lady Julia oversees the poet knight's combat training. When presented with Tybalt, she looks him up and down with obvious dismay. She coughs. Forgive me, she says. I don't have time to train every wandering novice who comes to the keep. I have enough trainees here already. Tell her he's your squire. Oh dear. Juliet sighs. Very well. She assigns Tybalt temporary accommodation with the other squires and tells you to come back in a week. Over the next 7 days, you stroll the keep's grounds, befriending knights and watching the squires recite poetry beneath the trees. Their vast library has no shortage of books to read, and you spend every evening at one of the poet knight's raucous, drug-addled feasts. Once his week of training is over, Lady Juliet organizes a practice bout between Tybalt and another squire for your benefit. The squire disarms him instantly, again and again and again. See, says Lady Juliet, turning to you as Tybalt drops his wooden blade on his foot and hops around in agony. I do not think he's cut out for this life. Tybalt flings his practice sword aside and storms away. He ignores all shouts to come back. You move to follow Tybalt, but a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. It's Sir Bruin, one of the most respected poet knights at the keep. A squat, muscular man with skin like beaten-up leather and truly magnificent hair. Leave him, says Sir Bruin quietly. Do you know what you have in that boy, my friend? That boy has a rare gift. What gift? What? Sir Bruin looked briefly annoyed. What? No. Tybalt knew his training was not going well. He came to me one night, drunk as you like, and confessed he never wanted to be a fighter when he was growing up. He had his heart set on a very different career before his father beat it out of him. Sir Bruin stares you in the eyes, dead serious. Tybalt wants to be a barber, and he's damn good at it. The poet knight runs a hand through his luxuriant locks, flowing down his shoulders in a shimmering hazel cascade. He had his eye on my hair from the moment he got here. Out of pity, I let him attempt to wrangle with it. This magnificence will shatter lesser scissors, you know. It will devour lesser men. But to my great surprise, he did a finer job than any before him. He's talented. Well, I never knew that. He never said anything about that. Sir Bruin nods gravely. Now go after him, and please, convince him to follow his dreams. His destiny is in a barber shop, not aboard a Kinetopede. The poet knight turns and stomps away, his hair rippling behind him like something alive. I should probably be concerned about that, but follow Tybalt. Try as you might, you cannot find Tybalt anywhere. When you finally return to the Kinetopede, your crew tell you he's got back before you, but he's locked himself in his quarters, stewing in fury and self-loathing. You'll have to speak to him later when he's calmed down. He doesn't reappear for days. Tybalt. This old story again. Come, Tybalt. Speak with Tybalt about his secret ambition. He apparently wants to become a barber. Who told you that? Tybalt turns a deep shade of red and punches the wall. It was Sir Bruin, wasn't it? Damn him. I told him that in confidence. Never trust a poet. What's the appeal of being a barber? Oh, the fame, the money, the glory, he crooks half smile at you. It's hard to explain. For years my butler cut my hair. He was a dear old fellow, name of Hemming. He smuggled me lollipops, he taught me how to click my fingers and flip a coin, and shuffle a deck of cards. He was a good man. The sharp, bright smell of the cologne, the scrape of the razor through foam, the delicate business of navigating a bumpy skull. Tybalt shivers happily. Hemming would talk about it like it was an art. I loved to listen to him ramble on. I begged him for days and finally let me give him a short back and sides. From then on, I cut his hair and he cut mine, until my father found out. Don't know what happened to Hemming after that. I went to the thin place for a while, and he was gone when I was allowed out again. I was doing commoner's work, you see. Follow your dreams, dude. Are you sure? Tybalt looks up at you, momentarily full of hope. He scratches his goatee. It would be disgrace on the balsamic name, on my father's name. Good. He brightens and looks suddenly anxious. Oh no, what if I've forgotten it all? Could I practice on you and the rest of the crew? Absolutely. Tybalt pushes you into a chair and immediately starts retrieving barber implements that had been hidden around the room. Curious, he pulls a pair of scissors from under the bed, a razor from inside a hollowed-out book, a bottle of perfume from behind his from behind his mirror, rather. He circles you like a hurricane. Scissors a steel blur, razor a flash of silver. You are spritzed, pampered, ruthlessly cared for, and he chats merrily all the while, his morose awkwardness falling effortlessly away. He ducks your head underwater and lathers your scalp so gently it sends you to sleep. By the time you wake up, he's finished. He spins you around and holds up a mirror. Your hair looks outstanding, better than you've ever seen it. Now for the crew. Tybalt sits your crew down one by one and fusses around them relentlessly, curling and crimping and dyeing and snipping. At first some are suspicious or dour, but Tybalt chats them with such earnest good cheer, and treats their scalp with such scrupulous care, that soon everyone is won over. By the end of the day, all your crew are sporting trendy new hairstyles, and they're singing, joking, falling over each other with laughter. The absurdity of the entire affair has brought them together, and for just a few moments pushed back the dart. That's enough. Tybalt is packing away his scissors and razors, quite exhausted. Tybalt is delirious with joy. He practically skips down the corridor, swinging his scissors hazardously around his head. I'm the world's greatest barber, he declares. Nothing can stop me. He grips you by the shoulder, eyes blazing with a feverish light. We need to go to the city keys. I'm going to confront my father and tell him what I really want to do with my life. If he doesn't like it, he can go right to hell. He grins at you, terrified but elated. And I mean, I do have these little fetch mirrors, so we can make that happen right now. Let's do it. City of Keys, testograph, let's go. Tybalt wants to confront his father. He's going to be a barber and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Oh, dearie me. The balsamic family estate is an imposing mansion on upside its expansive grounds enclosed by an iron-wrought fence, the gate guarded by two horribly eroded stone gargoyles and two guards who look a little eroded themselves. Hey, Fred, says Tybalt nervously to one of the guards. Tybalt, the guard snaps to attention. Where you been? Your dad's been going spare. Come on, I want to see you right away. You follow Tybalt into the mansion. We'll see. The balsamic mansion is oppressively gloomy. The lamps are unlit. Fred the guard does his best to cheer the atmosphere with the dirty jokes and gossip, but it's no good. The dusty air swallows his words. Tybalt. At the top of the marble staircase is a huge cigar attached to a small gray-haired man. So you're the one who stole my air from me, he says to you, barely inclining his head. My name is Lord Tybalt Balsamic III. Fred, leave us. Fred looks very relieved to be dismissed. The elder Tybalt beckons to you both and you follow him up to his study. The walls are lined with maps and leather-bound books. His desk is polished mahogany. So, Tybalt, you came crawling back. Remembered your duties at last, have you? Wait for him to speak for himself. Give him the chance. But Tybalt stands frozen and unspeaking as though paralyzed. He's made a decision. Oh, has he? Lord Balsamic glowers. I have. Tybalt finally finds his voice. A thin, quavering voice, but a voice nonetheless. I'll never be what you want me to be, Father. I'm not a fighter or a businessman. I just want to cut people's hair. That's all I want. This again, asks Lord Balsamic III, reddening. This again, Lord Balsamic sweeps his arms across his desk, setting books and papers scattering. This again. He drops into his chair and stubs his cigar out on the priceless wood. Fine, show me. Go ahead. What? Tybalt looks suddenly terrified. Got my hair. I want to see my son at his precious work. And hurry up, if you were my butler, I'd have beaten you for tardiness. Tybalt unpacks his tools as though in a trance. He glances up at you guiltily. Please leave us alone. I don't want you here for this. Oh boy. Why are you doing this, Tybalt? He just wants to goad you. I know, Tybalt gulps as he fastens a blanket around his father's shoulders. But this is my only chance to show him I'm actually good at something. Now please, go. Oh boy. I mean, if this is what he wants, then sure. Leave them in private as requested. Ooh. The door of the study clicks locked behind you. 20 minutes later, it creaked open again. Tybalt stands swaying in the doorway, looking pallid and ill. In one hand, he holds his straight razor. The razor and his hand are dripping red. Brian Bright, says Tybalt hoarsely, I need your help. The air of the study is saturated with a copper-tasting tang. The elder Lord Balsamic sits in his chair, head lolled back, neck split open into a red, gormless smile. The floor beneath is blood-soaked. The walls are blood-soaked. There's even spatter on the ceiling. He also has a perfect haircut. What did you do? Ooh. Oh god. Murder Fred 2. God, what the hell? Okay, it was like a dream, says Tybalt. He just wouldn't stop talking. I had the razor against his throat in my hand. It moved on its own. He glances just once at his father's corpse, falls to his knees, and is violently sick in the waste paper bin. Everything all right up there, sir? Calls Fred's voice from the bottom of the staircase. Please, whispers Tybalt, grabbing pathetically at your leg. Help me get out of this. Yes, everything's fine. Ha 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 ha. You do a credible imitation of Lord Balsamic III's growling voice. A moment passes. Fred calls out, much to your relief. Just checking, sir, and wanders off. What are we going to do about the body? Gulps Tybalt. I really should not have left you two alone, for fuck's sake. Hide the body in the cellar. Tybalt mentioned a thin place that no one would ever enter, except when his father locked him down there. Oh, boy. The thin place, of course I should have known. A strange calm descends on Tybalt. He stands up and grabs his father by the deadweight legs. Together you half drag, half carry the corpse down to the cellar. The portraits of a dozen balsamic ancestors stare down at you disapprovingly as you haul their dead descendant inelegantly beneath them. Finally, you reach the trap door. I'll go down first, says Tybalt. Dust spirals into the air as he opens it. Can you hear a ragged whispering at the edge of your mind? Your guard captain disappears down the ladder. You drop Lord Balsamic III down into Tybalt's waiting arms. He lays out his father's corpse below, down in the darkness where he'd been locked as a boy. He shut those milky blue eyes with his shaking hands. Help him back up. Oh, boy. Tybalt flops to the floor beside you like a stranded fish, gasping for breath. I hate it down there, he mutters after a long moment. I can always feel something standing behind me. I can feel its cold breath on my neck. No one will think to look down there for weeks, he stands up, brushing out the creases in his uniform. But eventually they will, and they'll know it was me. The guards saw us come in. If they catch me, I'll hang for sure. He stares down at the trapdoor mutely, then clutches at you and sobs for a long time into your shoulder. Usher him back to the Kinetopede. It's a long time before he stops crying. I want... Shoot! Okay. I mean, if it had auto-saved, I could do something with that, but it didn't. Because I was using the... God damn it. Okay, wait. Load. Autosave the City of Keys. Wait. Okay, let's see what happens if we insist on staying. Fred, shouts Tybalt, and you feel a heavy hand fall on your shoulder. Fred the guard. Could you escort Brian Bright outside for a moment? Asks Tybalt sweetly. The elder balsamic gives a curt nod. Well. You alright, sir? You sound weird. I'm coming up. You hear Fred's heavy footsteps on the stairs. God damn it, this goes even worse than the last time. Bribe him to go away. Fred counts out the money in awe, his eyes bulging. You shut the study door and hidden Lord Balsamic's body in a wardrobe. Very generous, he says. I guess I'll take the rest of the evening off, then. Thanks, mutters Tybalt. I know your dad didn't treat you well, lad, says Fred. I couldn't do anything about it, you understand? I'm just a guard, but whatever's going on tonight, don't worry. I forgot I ever saw you. Oh boy. Well, good news. The guard won't report us, so help him back up because we're not a monster. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, there was no way to avoid that, I guess. Can one of these people have a happy ending, by the way? Anybody? Literally anybody? Speak to Tybalt about what happened. He's been hollow and withdrawn and unwilling to talk. I don't want to be a guard captain any longer, says Tybalt. I'm done. It's not healthy being out here in the dark. It does strange things to the mind. He lights a cigarette. When did he start smoking? He puffs it thoughtfully, gazing out the window. I want you to take me to the old hollow, he says. When they find my father's corpse, they'll come after me. I need to be somewhere safe. His mind is set. He continues to smoke in silence. We're going a little bit late, but I want to have this dealt with completely. As it were. Oh, sure, have that. Yeah, whatever. Travel through the Fetchmere. I believe I can just go directly to the old hollow if I remember right. Nope. Nope, stop that. Oh, dearie, dear me. I cannot. That's unfortunate. Turns out I don't want to go anywhere. You're making me work for this. Quite a bit more than I expected to be doing. City of Masks and then we'll go. You know, just south. It's literally directly south. Have we had a storyline that was just direct, without someone betraying someone else, or just a single happy ending? Is that... I'm actually curious now. Has there been a single happy ending? Well, yes, there has been one. Just because we blew up that... what was it? The... something heart. Can't remember the name right now. The thing that was going to power the cathedral, and would have... Oh, dearie. No, I'm sorry, none of this makes sense if you haven't seen the past few episodes, but yes. The Cathedral of Stolen Gods was going to be powered by an engine. That story ended well because we blew up the engine. Although we did have to break up our dear friend here, Lucetta Quetzal. God damn you. Flee. But, I mean, a lot of these have ended poorly. I guess we have had enough... No, just keep going. I suppose we have had enough happy endings to counterbalance it, but it doesn't feel like it right now. Gather our news and then just run off. South, thank you very much. Ah, dearie me. Plus now I have to get a replacement guard captain. Ugh, gross. Just making more work for me just because you had to go and kill your dad. Mind you, I kind of think the guy deserved it. But, well. Well, he says. Well. Don't think anybody's gonna mourn that Lord Balsamic III. Ugh. Dear me, no. There we are. Okay. Gather our news, obviously, and say your goodbyes to Tybalt. Come back soon, says Tybalt, unsmiling. He never smiles these days, though he smokes near constantly. Going to open up a barbershop here and for all the visitants and travelers who come wandering through. You should visit sometime. Like right now. He's opened up a salon. Ooh. Aw. Tybalt is running a thriving barbershop in a previously unused room of the old hollow. When you walk in, he glides towards you with a pair of scissors in his hands and a beaming smile on his face. Brian Bright, it's so good to see you. Let me just finish with this customer. He whirls around a bemused patron, scissors blurring, giving him the haircut of a lifetime. Then Tybalt sits you down and gives you a free haircut of your own. He chats merrily all the while, beginning by massaging your scalp with a finesse that sends tingles of pleasure through your body. And then he starts nipping at your hair, a hurricane of steel. For the first time since you met him, he seems perfectly content. Needless to say, you avoid the topic of his father. Soon your stunning new haircut is complete. Tybalt claims to be busy, utterly rushed off his feet. He promises to catch up more later. I'm glad he's doing well. I think it's time to plan the heist. But that will be a matter for the future. For now, thank you for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly. And I shall see you all soon. Bye-bye.